from the Finnish president, my Finnish counterpart, although as I would like to underline, Mr. Stubb is currently very active, playing an active role internationally, supporting Ukraine, working with the American, Ukrainian and European allies, and these are the efforts that Mr. Stubb will be fully supported by Latvia. So it's over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edgars, and thank you for the hospitality that you and your team have showed us here on our first state visit to Riga. You will all know that Edgars and I go a long way back. We pretty much have a similar background in having been focused on foreign policy for most of my life. I managed to be foreign minister only for 3 years, unlike Edgars, who was there for 12 years, but we've pretty much known each other for the past 14, 15 years and have kept up contact in so many different ways. And I was also very happy and thankful to host Edgars at the Kultaranta talks at my summer residence this summer, where we had a good conversation together with Estonian President Alar Karis about world affairs. Now, the Baltic Sea has brought Finland and Latvia together for a long time, and we can go all the way back to the Viking Age. But the truth is that what binds us is very much values and interests, not only after the end of the Cold War inside the European Union, but now in the strongest military alliance in the world in the form of NATO. Our common history is one of cooperation on security. And I think that this state visit shows our appreciation for cooperation with Latvia, bilaterally of course, but also in multilateral fora, including what Edgars just mentioned in the form of NB8. I think this sort of combination of Nordic and Baltic states, which is values-based and interest-based, will strengthen in the coming years. It is strong already now, and when you start including Poland and Germany in it, you see a very strong values-based security entity up here in northeastern Europe. There's only so much a small country like Finland or Latvia can do alone, but we can do a lot together. Together we can deter and defend against the threats, both military and non-military, which we see coming from Russia. The President and I had a good conversation about not only the security situation in our region, but also Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine, a conversation also about the change in world politics, and we even touched issues linked to the Middle East, not least Israel and Palestine. But as we all know, Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine is our war. Russia's escalation of its war in Ukraine to include incursions of European airspace is simply unacceptable and calls for a clear response. That's why I welcome the actions undertaken by NATO in the form of Eastern Sentry. And of course, if you look at what happened in the margins of Finnish territorial waters at the end of December last year, NATO was able to create an immediate response in the form of the Baltic Sentry. And NATO has now done the same thing with Eastern Sentry in making sure that similar incursions don't happen on the eastern flank by setting up strong air defenses. The stability of the Baltic Sea is fundamental, is of fundamental importance, and Finland and Latvia have, of course, separately and jointly made efforts to strengthen the security in our region and all of Europe. Both Latvia and Finland have kept investing in security and defense. we need to send a strong message that all of Europe takes its defense and security seriously. The threat from Putin's Russia will not diminish even when Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine ends. As Edgars mentioned, our countries have strong defense material and defense industry cooperation that can be further deepened. The CAVS program of Patria was mentioned as a good example, and again we see the spillover effect with over 40 Latvian paid Patria vehicles going over to Ukraine. And I'm sure that we'll work on other similar projects. In many ways, I would argue, finally, that Finland and Latvia are leading the way, building Europe to be a coherent and capable geopolitical actor. The bonds of Finland and Latvia have forged in the decades will ensure that together we're prepared for whatever lies ahead. And I just want to finish by the fact that we right now live in very uncertain times, and we have to, as societies, have the capacity to deal with uncertainty. There are things coming at us day in and day out which we're not used to, certainly not since the end of the Cold War. And I think resilience is the key, and our capacity to act to the unknown together. And I think in the past few years we've shown that it works. I think one of the first people that I always reach out to if something happens is Finland. In Finland is the President of Latvia, and I'm sure we'll continue to do that in the future as well. Thank you very much. Paldies.
Paldies.
Thank you. Now we'll open the floor for questions. Edgars Rinkevics, please.
Latvia question for President Stubb. You have developed a close relationship with President Trump. If you have discussed regional security, may I ask what